school board meeting to order. Stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. First agenda item is Board of Education.
We have to approve Justine Flynn's resignation from the board for position number 2. That has to be,
A second.
Motion.
we need a motion first.
I move to approve Justine Flynn's resignation.
Second.
All in favor to
accept the resignation.
to accept the resignation of Justine Flynn from board position number 2.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Vote is unanimous.
Vote is unanimous. Motion passes.
Yep.
Thank you. Next is the CTE.
CT presentation.
Next is the CTE presentation.
All right.
Here we go. I got them all up here, and their mamas and daddies got to come watch them talk. Yeah, so you got a house full. So basically all we wanted to do was just kind of give a quick overview of our year and how we're ending it up and what it's going to look like for next year. So each one of the guys, we brought each one of these different students, they have their own roles in here, and they're going to talk briefly. One of the students wasn't able to come, and so I'll talk briefly about his part. But we've got a little video, and we're going to share this video really quick.
My name is Joseph Goodwin, and some of the stuff I like most about the shop is the new equipment that we get to work with and the fun educational projects we get to do. I also really like our teacher, TJ Wilson. He supports the kids here on many different levels, no matter where we started. And overall, being a part of the shop has been a great experience that helps us grow, learn valuable skills, and feel supported every step of the way.
Hi, my name is Quincy. I'm part of the Willamina School, and next year I'm going to be in high school. The parts that I like the most about the shop are all the different options to do so. My favorite part is working on the go-karts, but there are plenty of other things I'd like to enjoy.
What do you got going on over here?
I'm just making a little project, just a little filling project. Just looking way to start this thing out.
What kind of machine is this?
The laser, 5x7 table is pretty grand.
You think this machine will help you maybe in the future if you plan to go in industry or different things like that?
Probably. Or probably get something more like this. More than likely.
All right.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and what I like most about the CTE building is all the different options we have to do stuff. Welding may not be my thing, but editing definitely is. Our awesome teacher, TJ Wilson, just bought us some new editing software, which I will be working with Skills USA officers to be helping promote social media for our groups.
All right. So Xander here, we just kind of found out that he really loves doing videos and video editing, so we got him a software, and this is his first little tape right here. So he pulled this together about 2 o'clock this afternoon, so we're pretty proud of him. So, so you saw that laser going on. Evan, this is the man. So he says he gets a little stage fright. So I'll just show you. This is what you saw cutting out on the laser. And their plans this year, so we've always done bigger projects. And we're ending the year up kind of on a manufacturing note. And we're really planning to go a little hard and heavy on that next year. Steven can talk a little bit about that. But Evan here, the laser man, so he cut you guys out some different things here in front of the table. So Evan, if you want to just hand them that really quick. Yeah, just hand them their thing. So he also made you hand them their cows and their stuff.
Yeah.
He also he made you some little vegetable steaks. Just different things we're kind of passing out, you know, and letting people see, do they like it? Should we change something? Da 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 da. So there's what we have on that. I told you I was going to talk a little bit about Joe. He's playing baseball tonight. We're extremely fortunate. We've got major grants to buy major equipment. And one of the pieces of equipment that we bought is a Haas CNC mill and lathe. That is not my background. However, next year we've been talking to Lynn Benton Community College. And I'll go to night school there 2 nights a week in their machining program. And we have an opportunity to take possibly 4 students 2 nights a week to the Lynn Benton Community College machining program. If they're able to do that for 2 years in a row, they'll actually graduate high school with not a degree, but a certificate in machining. So also this is going to help us align our program with Lynn Benton's machining program. And the teacher will probably come down once, twice a month and teach one of our classes in there. So that'll be pretty fun. But along with our machining stuff, one of our industry partners, and we've been trying to make quite a few of these, but one of our industry partners at West Salem Machine Shop, they've been a good sponsor to us. They sponsored all of our students, the OSHA 10 training. They paid for all the seats. And so we had several students get their OSHA card this year, and it was a pain, but they were all just tickled when they got it. So what we've decided to do is we're trying to figure out how can we take these machines, and I'm not going to say throw a curriculum to it, but how can we make it valuable to these students, and how can we make a direct path? So what they've done, West Salem Machinery, they send their lead machinist out every Tuesday from lunch until 3 o'clock in the afternoon to spend time with some of these guys. What we've agreed to do is they've sent us out one of their actual work orders, what their employees do. They sent us out a set of their blueprints, okay? So what we've had to do is take these blueprints, we've had to redraw them in CAD, we've had to rewrite all the CAM our own way, okay? They bring those raw stock, this big chunk, okay? Now what we have to do is we have to build our own fixtures. This takes 3 operations. We'll send it back, and their machine shop will grade the kids who do this based on their tolerances. And then the agreement is once we get all of this done, we'll start making 50 of these at a time for their shop. They'll furnish material, and then they'll pay us to build these things. So along with that, our laser machine, he's passed these guys out, but we're in the fire pit business right now. We've let everybody kind of come up with their own ideas, and we've got some cool ones. So we've got fire pits for the wine drinkers. Where's Logan?
Right.
Logan, come on up here. We got fire pits.
Too young to drink wine.
We got fire pits for the guitar players. Go ahead and hold yours up. Tell me quickly, Logan, what yours is.
So it is a guitar, and you're going to be able to stand it up like this and watch the smoke bill out of the neck, and there's going to be legs on the flat part right here so you can cook off of it. So I'm thinking it's going to look pretty cool once it's done. And that's
Good.
what I did.
Thought you were in the mariachi band.
Thank you, guys.
It could be if they have the wine glass fire pit and the guitar there together. So Alina, so Logan and Alina, they're both, this is their first year to be in here with us. So Alina, I gave her a challenge to build a soccer ball fire pit. And we worked on it and cut shapes and threw them at each other and got mad and everything else. So we finally landed on this. And this is Alina's first project, so you tell them quickly about this one.
I mean, the original idea was for a soccer ball, but the pieces weren't quite fitting together yet, so this is kind of what we had to improvise. But I'm not quite done with it yet. I have to finish grinding it and also weld the bottom on it. But yeah, it was supposed to be a soccer ball, but the pieces weren't going together. So this is it.
That's really cool.
Super nice. And the last one that we did, it's laying down here on the floor. What we did like a collapsible fire pit. So these things are really cool. Our goal is maybe we'll get an IKEA bag and embroider Willamina on there or something. And so these are camp pits. They fold down in one small little piece. You put them in your bag, you take them camping. It's got a grill with an adjustable setting on here. Okay, so that goes on top. And it's just a really fun thing. So our intentions is to get to use the equipment. The kids get to draw these ideas. They get to use all of our CNC equipment, cut them out, and sell them. And hopefully, you know, we may not be self-sustainable always, but hopefully we're going to be able to get cash flow coming back in here doing some of these projects. And then, so quickly, you got some little glowing things right there, and a couple of you got short-changed. We didn't have batteries, and David's got broke right there. But we got some new equipment right here. Edwin, tell them about these little guys right here.
Well, we made some resin printed name tags for you guys, and with all the new equipment that we got on the 3D printers with the grant that we got, and we made several things such as that and other pieces that we've needed up in our future. And yeah.
It's super fun. So we do Fusion 360, that's our CAD stuff. So we'll do flat two-dimensional drawings, and then we'll put it into a 3D type drawing. It goes to a slicer software, and then a bottle of liquid in UV light makes those things. I have no idea how it does it, but it's absolutely amazing. Yeah. So we're going to end up, we're all done. We're going to end up with the salesman here. And I got to tell a really funny story. So the salesman, he's never scared to talk to anybody. He's been fretting this all day today. I don't know why. We're down at Medford the other day on one of our biggest shows. And these boys spot the Texas Roadhouse Steakhouse, and they're all fired up wanting to eat. So I tell them, all right, boys, if you make enough tips while you're down here at the show, then I'll drive you over there and you can get Texas Roadhouse. This dude, he comes back here in a little bit, and one of the guys that supports us a bunch, he comes back to the trailer flashing $150 cash. Where'd you get that? He said, I went to Eric and told him that you was going to take us. So he put it on the man, and he come back with 150 cash. So I'm going to let him finish this deal up. All of you, some of the things he'll talk about, Layla, Daisy Mae is not here. I gave some of you a sheet right here, and this kind of goes along with the project that Stephen's going to talk about. So there's a whole bunch of things that kind of go along with that. It's not just wrenching and hammering on things in the shop. So Stephen's going to close us out.
So this year, our CTE shop, we've taken on a special project, a tribute truck. We've taken a bunch of pieces from a bunch of different old trucks and kind of put them together for one big truck. From parts and pieces, old rigs. When we heard the news, it only felt right to dedicate the build to her. Every bolt, every weld, and every detail has taken on a new meaning. It's no longer just a project. It's a way for us to remember Layla and celebrate what she loved and carry her spirit forward and keep her passion alive in something real and lasting.
All right, well that's our deal, and we'll have some pictures next year our year is almost out. But we'll have some pictures next year of this Layla tribute deal. It's gonna be super exciting, and you guys, you'll be really happy with all the machines and all the different things that these guys are having to use to build these projects. So thank you for letting us have, a little bit of time right here. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Truckload of metal exploded. Just a little bit.
Next on the agenda, we have someone to present from the Enterprise Zone.
Yes. Yeah, come on up. Be right here in the front row.
Great. Should we just sit and?
Yeah, you're welcome to sit. And you need to plug in?
No,
No,
I have
enough battery.
All right, so, Abisha? Abisha. I was thinking about it all day long, too.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
So what we have in our packet is, let me try my elevator speed. Like, I had it down when I left the other night.
Yeah.
Sheridan and Willamina have what's called an enterprise zone. That allows new businesses coming in with a certain level of investment to receive some breaks on taxes.
Tax exemption.
breaks, right?
Okay, now when they get to years 4 and 5, depending on the situation, the school district can levy, this is where it gets really goofy for Oregon. We could levy an additional or a part of an assessment that would come to the school district as a funding stream. The catch of why we would never, even though we would, I'm encouraging you to approve the resolution at our next meeting after they talk through it, is whatever we would get would then be deducted from our state offset. So it's a zero-sum game. So we would approve it, we would be part of it. We would never basically pull that assessment at the county level. So it's really good for our community, it's good for businesses, but it's not really, it's gonna be a zero-sum game for us if we did anything. So the advice I've got is we would approve it at probably a 30% in case the statute ever changed. Is that what the intent was? It would be a good thing for school districts. Right now, it's a neutral thing for school districts. That makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll walk through it a little
You
bit
can
more,
fill in
but
the
you did a
blanks.
great job, Mike. Thank you for that.
I'm usually pretty good at the goofy finance
Yeah.
stuff at school.
It's a goofy one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll just run through this real quick. Again, my name is Abisha Stone, and I'm with Strategic Economic Development Corporation, better known as SEDCOR. We're the regional economic development organization that serves Yamhill, Marion, and Polk counties. And this is Laura Conroy, who's with the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, who also serves as the Economic Development District for the same 3-county area. So the reason why we're here, and I think you should have some documents from us that were included in your packet,
Right.
was to make sure that you understood what the West Valley Enterprise Zone was, and this school support fee letter, which was new legislation coming out of the 2023 session. So it is new, that's why it's rolling out, that's why you haven't heard from us about this in the past. So on that first page, I don't know what page that is in your packet, you'll see that we have a map of the West Valley Enterprise Zone. And you'll see that it incorporates encompasses all of the incorporated parts of the cities of Willamina and Sheridan. It is a shared zone, so both of the cities are joint sponsors of that zone. And my organization, SEDCOR, manages the zone. And what that means is that we work directly with the businesses who are making application for the program and with the city to make sure that the transaction happens and that everything's filled out and all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So this zone has actually been in place since June of 2015. It is a 10-year cycle on these zones. And what the process we're going through is just a renewal. So we don't want this it sunsets at the end of June of this year. And so we're getting in front of that and making sure that we get our renewal in place. Both of the cities have approved the renewal to go forward. So as a courtesy, we inform the taxing districts of the process, but this fee letter is the new thing we have to address. So this is a rural zone, excuse me. It focuses on investments from traded sector businesses. So this is businesses that make and sell a product on a larger domestic and international marketplace. So sometimes I tell people like the downtown tap house is not a traded sector business, right? That's a retail, it's a Main Street business. But if they have a brewery and that brewery is now selling beer at the tap house and they're selling beer into a different city and maybe a different state, that is a traded sector activity. Agriculture is a traded sector activity. So this is to encourage traded sector investment in rural communities. And the standard enterprise zone is for a 3-year tax exemption. And I like to be really clear about this because it only exempts the tax for the investment. So if you have a business, their property is currently assessed at this value, and they are making a significant investment in either a new facility or maybe an addition of a facility, equipment valued over $50,000, and they're hiring more people. So now the value is here. This delta here is what becomes tax exempt for 3 years. This tax base still stays the same. The school still receives the base of tax. So the reason that this exemption exists as an incentive for businesses is that it allows them to get that asset up and running and generating revenue, hopefully profit, before they have to pay the property taxes associated with that, right? They're already paying for the investment, they're paying for the staff, the training, sort of getting it commissioned, and it gives them a chance to get it working for them before they pay the exemption. Standard program, 3-year exemption. There is an option for them to request a 4th and 5th year within that exemption. In order to do that, there's additional requirements. They have to pay, it's 150% of the average wage of the area, so it has to be high-paying jobs. The investment still has to qualify, be a certain level of investment. They have to go before city council to get an approval, and they would have to now go before the school district and negotiate a fee, right? So the fee would be a percentage of this delta, not the base, but of the delta. That fee can be anywhere from 15 to 30%, a whole number with the exception of right smack dab in the middle at 22.5, okay? We have not, in my time with SEDCOR 8 years, had an application that requested the 4th or 5th year. The 3-year is standard, and that's usually what businesses go for, but they could go for that 4th or 5th year. Let me make sure I explain all these things. A couple of other things, there's some special things with the West Valley Enterprise Zone. We do have what's called an e-commerce overlay. That allows for businesses that do a lot of online business, which is good for rural areas, right? To have access to commerce that's online, to exempt some other equipment. So that might be a laptop, things that are valued at a lesser rate, to encourage e-commerce in this zone. There's also an overlay for hotels and resorts to try to encourage those types of investments in the community. So I'm going to run through again the school support fee rate. I'm going to reiterate a lot of the things that Superintendent Gass already said. But again, this came into place in 2023. The concept behind it was that for that 4th and 5th year request of exemption, that schools would have a chance to be engaged in the process, maybe made whole a little bit faster, right? Because a 5-year exemption, it starts to feel long, and you want to make that investment in the school district. So they said, we're going to just automatically include that there's a requirement for the applicant to enter into an agreement with the school district about what that fee rate will be for that delta. Unfortunately, it's like, all good intentions ultimately fall apart on the back end. The way that it was structured, the school then, and it kind of talks through how this works, every year, the sponsors, so that would be the cities of Willamina and Sheridan, would interact with the school district and say, here's the value of that delta. The school would then do the math against whatever the fee rate is set. They would issue a statement or a bill to the business. They would have to negotiate in advance any terms of that note or bill, and any process for managing delinquencies. So you would be basically bill managing, right? If the business did not pay the bill, there is sort of a default way to address that. It would then go to the assessor's office, who would add it to the tax assessment, and it would be collected on the back end eventually. However, like I said, good intention, that kind of falls short. After all of the legislation actually played out and everything got written, the reality is that the school then has to account for that fee as revenue, as earned revenue, which of course offsets at the end of the year when you work through the school appropriation, I forget, the annual school fee appropriation, right? So it ends up offsetting. That could change in the future, as Superintendent Gass said. So looking at setting a fee that you're comfortable with, just knowing it exists, and if ever in the future you decide to process it and collect the fee, it's at the rate that you want it to be. Most of the school districts that we're talking to right now throughout the state are just saying that's kind of an administrative nightmare for us for no net benefit. And they may or may not process the note or the bill. And that's up to you, right? So I've tried to share the information of what we've been learning. This is newly being implemented. In all reality, the only reason we're in front of you right now today is not because we have an open application. It's because they also added to this that at time of renewal, we have to set a fee rate with the school district. So we're going before the Willamina School District and the Sheridan School District to do that as a part of the process. We do need to get that processed before the end of June, before it sunsets, so that we can continue progress and not end up getting behind in that process. Things that are getting behind in the process with the state, with some of these programs, we're concerned about the amount of time it might take to get it back in place. So, and I think that's it. I did provide a little bit of information in the packet, just sort of some Q&A, also some references to additional documentation. If you have a hard time falling asleep and would like to read some of that, you know where to find it. Laura and the Council of Governments is managing the process of the reinstatement, so she might have a couple more, here's the process and timeline to add, but otherwise we're here to answer questions. Anything else to add, Ms. Laura?
Oh, I was gonna take questions.
Okay, perfect.
And then what do you need from us? Answer. So when you're ready to ask that question, I'll tell you.
You have a sample of the resolution that'll be in your next board packet. We'll go ahead and fill that out. My intent would be to support this, not collect it, but also do it at the highest rate in case the rules change, then we're locked in. And have that maximum gain if it ever became an opportunity. Again, it's kind of like when I first heard it, I was like, it could be a chunk of change, but if it's only on the delta of the existing property to where, or the existing, building or facility or business, it's not going to be, we're not going to get rich on it. It would be, I don't even know if anybody's ever paid it out, have they?
Not yet, to my knowledge, just because it's so new and it just really got implemented last year.
So I think it's a dance we'll do, and we'll set up future boards and administration that if it ever happens, then it's on the books.
How does the district know which businesses are new and if we're sharing with Sheridan, can Sheridan contact the business and Willamina contact the business? Is it shared between Sheridan and Willamina? How does that work?
Or is it community that the business is in?
There's your question.
Yeah, there's my question. So I think the question is, if you have a business that wants to take advantage of this, who do they contact? I think that was the first part of the question. I think it was a multi-part question. So that was
well, just how would the district know of the business to contact? I mean, how do we know there's a new business in town?
So process.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know what? You're talking about the school district, and I was thinking about the enterprise zone or the economic development district. Sorry, different district. Okay, school district. How will the school district know?
I can take a stab at that initially. So as the zone manager, when we receive an application, so especially now that this fee waiver is in place and they say, we want to apply for the 4th and 5th year, so now they go into the conversation with the school district. We as the manager walk them through the application process and then would be the entity that would connect them to the school district saying, hey, we now have to ensure that the fee waiver agreement is in place and this is, so we would be making that connection with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The towns are involved as well, right? The town governments?
They are, but, so the 3-year is sort of it's a given. If, so long as, because it is a state program, so long as their project qualifies and they go through the application process, which mostly is, again, SEDCOR, making sure they fill it all the way out. We have a pre-app meeting with the assessor's office, right? So we make sure that it passes muster with the assessor's office. We then submit that, and there's a few other steps with WorkSource Oregon and some other partners. We submit that application to the state and it gets approved. We then generally notify the most local jurisdictions. So for example, we have a project in process in Sheridan. They just completed their application process a few months ago. So we notified, we did not have to get the fee waiver at that time because of the timing of it. And they also did not request the 4th or 5th year, but we notified the city council that that application had gone through, that they have a business making that investment. Now the city is generally already aware because they're going through a permitting process with them. So it's a lot of open dialogue, but there is not necessarily an official process that we're beholden to send letters to all the taxing districts that it's happened, unless it goes into the 4th and 5th year, and then there's a different process.
And that would be a Sheridan project, Sheridan School District?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it doesn't get shared like that. It stays true to the taxing districts of the project. What's that?
What happens? We'll mind the state.
Okay, great. Other questions? All right, we'll have this. We have a meeting, special meeting coming up where we're just gonna be approving some contracts and things for building design stuff. So we'll loop this in there as well.
Wonderful. Thank you for giving us a chance to come and share the program with you. Also, just always want to let folks know this program exists. So if you have businesses in your community that are growing and might be looking for resources to support their business growth, please send them our way. We'd love to make sure they get access to the resources available to them. Yeah, well, we have a lot of them that do workforce development programs to support CTE as well. So
Perfect.
we love to make those connections.
There you go. You got quite the show tonight then.
Yeah, oh, it was great. I know, that was a hard act to follow. I felt like we should have had to go first. That's rough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
The next topic is the consent agenda from last meeting.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
The consent agenda has been moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the consent agenda? Say aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. Consent agenda is passed.
You said aye too, right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Did not, but
Pass. And then correspondence starting with superintendent's report.
next topic is superintendent's correspondence.
Yep. And then just as we're looking at all these other ones, Angie texted me and she's not available tonight. Was trying to be online, and Kayla sent hers in as well. So kind of the hottest things going on right now, construction. Roy was part of our committee. We were working on selecting our design group, which is OH. They're in fee negotiation right now with HMK. And so once that's officially done, then we'll need to have a quick meeting to approve that. Our district office, we're moving forward with some of the reclamation on that. So I think hopefully by the time we get to the end of school, we'll be back in that. We want to do a lot of cleaning, getting that carpet out of there, putting in hard floor surface. Hopefully it'll get us there. Staff recognition again is June 5th. That'll be out at the fort. We'll do a little after work soiree and do some awards. We've got years of service pins. We have staff nominating staff for recognition, different things like that. We'll have some door prizes. And just have a fun evening or an afternoon to kind of wrap up our year. Kindergarten screening. Am I stealing your thunder?
No.
We had 25 to 30-ish kindergartners show up, which I guess is a little bit lower than normal, but you know, we're working hard to get that word out and get them squared away. Typically, you can add another 20 to that that'll walk in the door at the beginning of the summer and do our kindergarten camp. Summer school, we were awarded some dollars for that, so I'm in the process of filling that out and trying to organize what that'll look like this summer. But we do have about $127,000, $130,000 that we can use, but that covers staff, transportation, the whole shooting match. So sounds like a lot of money, but you know, when you get 80 hours of instruction for kids, that'll burn that up pretty quick. We do have graduations for kindergarten, 8th, and high school on the map. And let April know if you're going to be at graduation, would like to sit on the field with us. We'd love to have people down there. You can hand out a diploma and shake hands with all those kids coming across the stage if you're available. Sarah and Rebecca and Mike went to the TAP state meeting. I won't say any more than that because that's why they're here tonight. Budget committee, we got through that last Tuesday. I appreciate everybody's work on that. Teacher bargaining continues. We're into the dollars and cents piece of that. We've gotten through most of the articles on language, which is crazy to edit and go back and forth. It's been a good process, but I think we've cleaned up a lot of things in our contract that make both sides feel better. And then April and I were talking about the swearing in of the new Board of Education members. Typically that was happening in
July.
Based on the fact that we're a bit short with Justine's resignation. Do we want to invite those new members to come on sooner in the June time frame or that special
They
meeting?
can be sworn in June, but they won't become active roll members until July. That's when they would officially be elected into the position. And we can swear them in and get all that taken care of so they come into the July meeting ready to go.
Yeah. That'd probably be our recommendation in case somebody hits a hurdle in that process. And then,
Depend on where I'm at in fires.
like I said, in
Starlink,
case
I better
somebody
get
gets in a
Starlink.
hurdle. And then just want to give a little shout out to JJ Flynn, who is our SRO, who got a big promotion. So we will be losing him. And Brian Hamlin will be our new SRO. So they're doing about a 2.5 week crossover here over the end of school. But JJ, you know, well-deserved promotion. It's been a huge asset for us. So we'll be getting fresh legs there as well. So, any questions on any of those? That's kind of all I have at this point.
Thanks, Mike. Then we roll into the
Audience time.
audience.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read the statement. So our audience time, if you have any intent to speak, there's a speak card out here out front. I think we have one to be turned in. Citizen input on non-agenda items shall be 3 minutes per person, 30 minutes per item. Citizen input on agenda items will occur after the board discussion and before a vote. Speakers may provide objective comments or criticism of a district operation or program. For complaints about individuals, the district has a board policy and complaint process. Please contact the district office for guidance on filing a complaint. And we do have one person that would like to speak. Oscar Juarez.
Thank you. Just keeping track of time. 3 minutes. Just, I can't start without complimenting all this. I mean, this is, well, whatever.
I got you started, go.
Thank you. You know, I'm a product of CTE, and for the viewership, I've mentored at this place for 18 months, or a total of nearly 4 semesters. And I can see what the value of a parent intervention has, because, you know, it looks like it's come to fruition. My compliments to the kids and TJ for this. However, you know, I've been there for 18 months, and sometimes you can't just look at this without a doubt, because I've seen it before. Behind a compliment, there is a great effort. And then once the show is put on, somehow it gets dropped and it goes back to the same routine. So I hope this continues. This is you know, this is what I'm hoping for the benefit of my kid and many other kids. So yeah, my compliments. That's all I have to say.
1:21.
Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you, Oscar.
Next agenda item would be the Title VI Indian Education Grant Update Federal Programs and State Programs presentation.
Yeah, we need to.
Yep.
Magical connection.
Okay.
While they're getting hooked in, you do have a
Presentation.
piece of, yeah, perfect.
Sure.
Right, hardware.
Shlahayam kanui shlaksta, Rebecca Arredondo, Neka Yahol Kalapuya Ila'i Bukuk. Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Arredondo, and this is Kalapuya Land. Normally, most people know me as the TAP Attendance Family Advocate, but today I'm here with a different hat on as the Title VI Co-Director with Sierra Norwood. So we're not actually going to go into TAP today. That'll be saved for another time.
So Emily Rawls resigned at the end of last year. She was our Title VI coordinator for the district. So it left a hole, and Rebecca and I took it on this year together because it's a lot of work.
We'll talk about how we use this first.
Yeah, sure. So normally I take kind of the behind the scenes. I do a lot of the paperwork, collecting the District 506 forms, tracking tribal affiliation with our students district-wide, the reporting for the Title VI grant, the actual grant writing of Title VI, and kind of the busy paperwork stuff.
And then we developed a parent committee recruiting people that had our first meeting in February of this year. So it took a while to kind of get things rolling, to get the information out there, to get people responding, which is why we didn't start earlier in the year, but the hope is to, actually we already have an August meeting, so get that rolling first.
Backing up, Title VI is our Native American Education grant through the federal lens. So it's a federal grant that we apply for every year because of our Native American population, which allows us to access funds specifically for Native American education.
So we're going to talk about some of the really cool, fun things that we did this year with the funding.
So this was a great one. In October, we brought out Native hip hop performer Superman. In the elementary, we do a Native American Role Model of the Month to provide a sense of belonging for our families. So in October, our Native Role Model of the Month was Superman, and we actually brought him out, and he was a fantastic speaker. He gave 4 different assemblies that day, one to our K2 kids, one to 3-5, one to our middle school kids, and one to our high school kids. And he did each one a little bit differently, and the message was a little bit different. He actually showed our littles, so right down there on the left-hand corner, they are actually creating music with him. They created a whole song with him just out of sounds and rhythms. There was a lot of dancing involved, and then as you got up in the grade level, it kind of turned more into empowering our youth to go do what they want to do in life, and just believing in themselves. And the message was really good. But it was very age appropriate for each of our grade levels, and they all loved it. They had a great time with him.
And that's he's standing next to the poster there.
Yeah, that was his bulletin board we made for him.
Also in October is Indigenous Peoples Day. It's the second Monday of the month. And so I put together activities. This year it was district-wide. So kindergarten through high school, every grade level had a culturally focused activity. So kindergartners had a focus of acorns. First grade did fry bread, and we had guests come in. A family here make fry bread. So Emelina and Lino and her family came in, did amazing. Second grade did beading, and we had elders come in and do beading with them. Third graders made medicine bags. Fourth grade did stick game, and we had guests, Fabian, Quinell, and Nakoa Mercier, and a couple of other younger men come in and do stick game. Fifth grade, we did watercolor paddle painting. So paddle shapes have a significance to the tribes and regions in our area, the different shapes. And so they learned a little bit about that and then got to paint on watercolor the different shapes. Sixth grade, so we had repeat projects too. So sixth grade did medicine bags as well. Seventh grade processed pine nuts, turned them into beads, and made bracelets. Eighth grade did fry bread again with our guests. Ninth graders did the watercolor paddle painting, as well as the life skills, or not life skills, the alternative program, SOAR, as well. 10th graders made drums. And we had guests come in, including a high schooler who helped, Kaikani Mercier helped with that, and we had Bly,
Aiden.
Dad.
Zach.
Zach Bly came in, and his oldest son, who just, I think, recently graduated. 11th grade did pine nuts and bracelets, and then 12th grade did stick game. So it was a whole day of focus and events. In addition to that, I developed, this is the third year running for WSD, the Elementary Native Club. In middle and high school, their Native clubs are run from the tribe that come out. In the elementary school, we tried to have that happen a few years ago, but because of the timing of when the club has to happen, which is after school, the staff who come out from the youth ed program aren't able to do that because they have to be at their after-school program. So in the past couple of years, myself as a TAP advocate, and then the Title VI person, Emily, and I had done that the last 2 years. And so this year, I've been taking the lead on that. We are now in the STEM room after school once a week, and we have Brian Jones, who's a STEM teacher who helps out, and Ana Garcia, who helps out as well, one of our assistants. So we have about 20 4th and 5th graders every week. They are a mix of Native and non-Native students. We do all sorts of things, from beading, where we make necklaces for our graduating Native American seniors and present them to them the week before they graduate. We had some guests come in the fall. We had Jeremy Oyua and Joseph Ham from the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde's Natural Resources Department and the nursery out there. They came and we weeded in our first foods garden, which is the little garden plot box outside of the cafeteria. They were giving out seeds that we were throwing around and talking about things. So that's on the left side. We also had Jordan Mercier come out from the culture department, and he brought some different things that were woven, and we talked about the different weavings, and then he brought fresh hazel sticks, which the kids got to peel in preparation for basket making materials. We found it takes 3 years for the materials to be ready to be woven. The first year is you're cutting the tree so they grow straight shoots. The second year you pick them and peel them. They have to dry for a whole year and then they can be woven with. So that was pretty cool. We've done things like make pesto from stinging nettles. We made drums last week. And then Emelina and her family are gonna come back and do fry bread to wrap it up.
You know when that one hits.
I will. 2 weeks. Another thing that I do as kind of a TAP/Title VI thing is Chinook Wawa language support. So you heard me speak in Chinook at the beginning of this. So in the elementary school, I make regular videos about every other week at this point. And many of those videos are focusing on Chinook language. So teaching simple words and phrases like Klushi-san is good morning. And so saying that repetitively so that kids can be practicing that. And we have bulletin boards with the different phrases that we've been learning. We're talking about asking, how are you feeling in Chinook? And the really exciting thing is this year in particular, we can hear kids walking through the halls and either speaking to me, Shahayam, or to each other in Chinook, which is really cool. And again, these are very simple. This is not like a bilingual program by any means, but it is that introduction and that infusion and that support for the language. And then this is another event that is both TAP and Title VI kind of coordinated. We did a family game night. This has been something that has been fairly regular with the exception of the COVID years. And we all get together at the tribe, and this is for Native-only families per kind of the 2 different grants. And there's raffle prizes and board games, and families just come and we just hang out and play board games. At this night, there were 62 total people, 17 families were represented. And it was a kind of a collaboration or a combination of Willamina and Sheridan school districts so that they could be, the family game night could be advertised in the after school program out at the tribe. So most of the students and families were from Willamina. There was one family from Sheridan, one family was homeschooled, and one from Independence, but that was a Grand Ronde staff member's family. There were 5 Grand Ronde staff members there and 4 school staff members, including Superintendent Gass. And then we are wrapping up the year with a jam. We are super excited about this. In the fall, in November, there was a jam as part of Native American Heritage Month, the middle and high school did. The parent committee for Title VI really wanted to do a jam before the end of this school year that was for the entire district. So this will be the entire kindergarten through 12th grade students coming together in the high school gym in just about a week or so, May 21st. It'll be from 1 to 2 p.m. Everybody is welcome to come. We're inviting families as well. A jam is kind of like a powwow, if you've ever been to that, in terms of there's singing and drumming and dancing. It's a little bit more casual. They don't have quite the same protocols, but everyone will be able to go. We'll watch. If anyone knows the dances or songs, they're welcome to go down and participate. And then we just had a planning meeting, a second planning meeting today, where we learned there's always a song at the end that regardless of if you've ever danced before, everybody is welcome to come down and participate. So we're really excited for that. And like I said, you are welcome to come on the 21st.
One more thing, with our parent committee, we're actively looking for parents. So if you know any tribal parents, please spread the word to come in and get their input. We put out a survey about a couple months ago, just to all of our Native families, asking for input on things like attendance, what we can do to improve it, asking what they wanted to see Title VI funds be spent on. The elementary, really, the feedback from parents was they wanted to see more professional development for educators around culture.
And more language incorporation.
Yep.
More Chinookwa language incorporation within just the buildings as a whole, and more, I think, more display of Native culture within the middle high school.
Yep.
There's a lot kind of at the elementary level, but less so at middle high school.
Yep. Another thing they wanted to see is tribal artists, seeing if we can get some of those set up for next year, like artists in residence, and then at the middle and high school level, additional help for our at-risk youth. So they're kind of dictating where they would like to see the Title VI funds go, and that's the whole point of the committee, is to seek their input and guidance on where they want these funds to go.
Are there any questions?
My juniors enjoyed doing the beeps with the pine nuts. And then they found out about the drums and they're like, what could have made drums? That would have been cool. I really liked it until they found out about the drums.
Tell them they have to be a superintendent, you can choose.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you guys, is the tribe, do they do anything with like cow hides?
Like processing them?
Processing them?
No, we get our hides from Centralia. We have gotten our hides from Centralia Fur and Hide. I don't know if they buy hides. Like, but those are the, I don't know, is that what you're thinking?
Well,
Or,
we do a small, and we wouldn't sell them, we'd give them.
I will ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have 2 of them coming up here in another 2 months.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, we'll check it out for you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want them, they're yours when he comes out to butcher them.
Thank you.
Think about that.
Well, thank you.
Sarah's like, oh, what do you do with that?
It's what they did
The
back
whole
in the day.
process to processing hides and scraping and like, there's like a brain thing. And
So you do
anyway,
that?
there's the whole thing. I know. It's
Rebecca
like
does it.
Native club. All right, I'll think about that.
That's what they did years ago.
Yeah. 100%.
Any more questions? All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
And
There,
table on 2 decision items, the Willamina
Francine from the food bank,
Zone
I've
1
tried.
Director.
there is a grant, a small business, especially with tribal influence, for a culinary area. So we might want to think about that. It might be grant money coming in to help with the infill project.
Oh, okay.
She just hit me up on that and I had to text myself, so. It's
Okay.
small business incubator for the culinary area is what she said it's called.
Who is it?
It's Francine out at Grand Ronde Food Bank. Just tricked my brain that people hit me up with stuff all the time. I can't keep track of it.
You're selling a lot of cars on Facebook.
Yeah. Report my Facebook, please, anybody.
I just about called you and see him lower the price on the dump trailer.
Oh, stop it. Wish I had that too, but.
The next item on the
Sorry,
agenda
Dan.
is decision items. It's the WSD Zone 1 Director. There was an email attached, look at for reelection of Arturo Vargas.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
WSD.
Yeah, he was the only applicant for that position, and he's been in the position for a while.
Good for him. I move to, we just
Yep.
need to support or
You need
submit a vote for
to
him.
nominate him.
I move to
again.
nominate Arturo Vargas for WSD Board as our Zone 1 Director.
Second. Good job. We're side that.
Call for a vote for the WESD Zone 1 Director for Arturo Vargas. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes for Arturo Vargas to WESD Board of Directors, Zone 1 Director.
In April, will you submit that or do I need to?
I will submit it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, April.
And then future agenda items.
Just reminding you that we'll need 3 people for architectural approval, and then I think our contractor will be we'll be looking at our partner for the CMGC. That should hit our regular meeting. So we'll go into summer being set.
So we'll be having a special session May 22nd. Is that the date that they set?
I believe so.
May 22nd, and I didn't get the time on that.
I think we can set the time.
Okay.
Is that when we vote on the architecture?
Yes.
I have a Zoom meeting at 6 o'clock already scheduled for something else. So it has
At
to
what
be
time?
At 6 o'clock.
We
So
can,
it'd
we
have to
can
be
do it.
before 6.
We can do it as soon as.
When do you get out of work?
4:30.
What time do you do?
I be here at 5 o'clock if I have to.
Can you do 5? It should be quick. I think there'll be some
It'll be like
documents for
10
you to
minutes.
sign. Yeah.
Oh,
5 minutes
Yeah.
works. I have a
Has to
fire
be
board meeting that night
in-person.
too
I
at
think
6,
so,
so we're all.
They'll
Yeah,
need him,
I
they'll
can
need
do-
someone to sign off
I can
on
do
that,
5.
right?
You do 5?
5 works.
I'll just stop here. I have to work.
We have a budget meeting at 5:30, but it's not gonna take very long, right?
Yeah,
Budget meeting for fire district.
No, we're
5:30. So 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay.
5 p.m.
Convene, approve. You'll have all the information ahead of
Okay.
time.
Where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna do that?
Where do you want, we'll probably have to do it here, right here. We'll just do
Right
it.
here. Okay.
May 22nd at 5 p.m.
Yes.
Send me a reminder.
Put in your phone. Oh,
I got a reminder.
Put it on the fridge.
5 to 5.
And then bring it
She
the
has a
budget
calendar.
hearing.
handy
Oh,
right
we've
now.
heard.
You have to look at it though,
I don't
David.
look at it. What are you doing telling everybody this?
budget and.
Keeping an eye on
hearing.
it, right?
Everything's fine. I bought it for you.
That's regular.
All right.
And then you, and we'll
Gosh.
probably start at 6:30.
My mom and dad's anniversary. And my aunt's coming down. Get my grandmother a dress that she wore in my mom and dad's wedding. It's an old dress.
And then you can.
All right. This meeting is adjourned.